So hey, how y'all doing? It's Sharonda, and hey, how y'all doing? So I am here to do the rest of my recap of the anime A Sign of Affection, which is currently streaming on Crunchyroll. So let's get into this thing, shall we? Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do the rest of the seasons. We are currently up to episode 12 with the anime. I don't know if they're going to do more episodes, but right now it's up to episode 12. This is a romance anime, or that is what I call them, okay? I know they are named other things, but another thing, but I call it romance anime. And this is a romance between two college-age students, Yuki and Itsumi, okay? So I did a recap of episode 1. You can catch it or watch it in my list of videos. I'll also link it at the end of this one. But let's start. So in episode 2, we pick up from that where Itsumi had done walked Yuki home, and she's just starting to like once they meet and they talk, they're talking through text. So just another brief reminder that Yuki is a deaf person. So when her and Itsumi talk, it's always through like text or whatever, and sometimes she's able to read his lips. I didn't have a sidebar. I didn't have a question. She wears actually hearing devices in her ears, but she is still unable to hear. So I just had the question of, if she has these hearing devices in her ears, she's not able to hear a little bit, you know what I mean? Or is she just wearing them for, you know, I guess for show purposes? I don't know. But that was the question I had, because I was like, okay, so she's not able to hear at all with the hearing devices in? And if she's not, then what's the reason? But so anyway, in starting back up on episode 2, Yuki is just trying to come to terms of these feelings that she's starting to have for Itsumi, right? They meetups or whatever start running into each other. Going into episode 3, we start seeing them like running into each other more. He now has her number, so they're like texting more, and he asks her if he can teach her how to sign. Teach him how to sign, so that he can learn, the sign language, so that, if he did need to talk to her and sign, sometimes it's what he wants to do. Well, he's older, he's very well versed, and he travels a lot, so he's a little bit more worldly than she is. But Yuki kind of like makes him feel different, I guess, than any other girl has. He has never been interested in even pursuing relationships with the opposite sex, but I guess there's something about Yuki that just kind of like intrigues him. I do think that with a lot of these romance animes, that the female characters always tend to come off kind of like innocent, young, things like that. So I think that's kind of like what draws her to Itsumi in the beginning. But they start having like these little conversations or whatever. They ended up actually going on like kind of like their like first date, when Ren invites him and his cousin was actually going shopping, and the cousin had asked Ren for whatever reason to like join him, and then Ren ends up telling Yuki like, hey, we're going out, we're going shopping or whatever, why don't you and Itsumi, I don't know why I can't say this boy's name right, Itsumi, join us. So it's kind of like their first date or whatever, and they end up going on, it's like a day trip or whatever. They're walking around the store, and it's like sharing information about each other. I really did like Itsumi's approach to Yuki. I thought he was very careful with her, especially with her being a deaf person. He always tried to make sure that, just from like going, quickly investing in learning how to sign, and, making sure he's in front of her, when he's talking to her, so that she can like read his lips and things like that. So I really did like his approach to her. Like, he really did, like, I think because he started to, I guess, you know, my old school saying of like getting sweet on her, you know, he was just very careful in his approach on how he moved this relationship with her. We also come to another, that's between episode 3 and 2, 3 and 4, where these things are going on. The episodes are really like quick. I think they're like maybe 25 minutes each. So, you know, we're getting a, you know, we're getting a moving, working relationship inside of those 25 minutes. And then we come up on episode 5, where actually, when they, from that night, from that day trip, they ended up, Yuki and Itsumi, actually ended up, walking back to, you know, from the actual trip to the store. And Itsumi, oh my God, Itsumi knows that Ren has like these feelings for his cousin, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna give you guys some time to be together or whatever. And he asks Ren, like, very funnily, he asks Ren, like, you know, do you want me to help you out? And she's like, yeah, you know, like, can you help me out? He was like, okay, yeah, sure. Why don't y'all, you know, drive home together? And she's like, wait, I think she was just gonna, like, you know, maybe like tossing him, like, you know, put a good word in me for me, you know, like, Ren likes you, you know, what you doing or whatever. But Itsumi is like, nah, me and Yuki are going to walk, you know, back, and you and my cousin Kiyoya, y'all gonna have to bear with me while I pronounce these names. You know, Kiyoya, you know, y'all ride back, you know what I'm saying? That give you some time, you know, to, you know, get to know him, talk to him, things like that. So Ren is like, shit. So they do it. But but on the walk home, Itsumi and Yuki, they're like, you know, he's talking, and he's like, come back to my apartment, you know, come back to my apartment with me, you know, with me. We'll go eat for dinner or whatever, but, you know, we'll eat at my apartment. And she's just like really nervous. She's like, oh, wait, I wasn't expecting all of that. But like I said earlier, I like the way he moved with her, because he was very respectful of her boundaries, which I think, just as a person in general, like the way his character is kind of like written, I think he would have just been that way with any woman he would have ended up with. But I don't know. I just feel like it's a little bit different with Yuki. But he ends up inviting her back to his apartment. You know, they're talking, and that's when they start. Oh, and sometimes he communicates with her by their writing back and forth to each other, like they're having conversation like that at the apartment. So they like having these conversations and whatever. And then one of Itsumi's childhood friends, not childhood friends, but Emma, she actually went to high school with him and his other friend. And one thing that kind of like irks me with the animes is like how a lot of these people have these feelings for people that ain't paying them no goddamn attention. Not in the way that they're paying them attention, which is this situation that goes on with Emma. Emma has always had this big crush on Itsumi when they were in high school and stuff like that. She was like in love with him, but even in high school, Itsumi was not trying to like, he wasn't focused on girls or having no relationship with no girls or anything like that. So Emma, I mean, she would ask him out and things like that, and he would reject her. It's just like what she says. And I'm like, so you understand that this boy don't like you, that he don't like you like that, like he likes you as a friend, shit, maybe as a sister, you know, so see you as a sister. So why is you coming anyway? So she ends up coming back to Itsumi's house to return the key, because he had let her stay there one night. Something happened. She used the excuse to stay the night at Itsumi's house. And child, he left with it. He has given Emma every sign in the world that he does not like her like that. And child, she just keep pushing and pushing. But anyway, she ends up coming back to the apartment while Yuki is there. Yuki knows Emma from around campus or whatever, but they're not like friends or anything like that. But when she shows up, Emma doesn't know that Yuki is deaf. So when she comes there, she sees Yuki there and she instantly gets jealous, kind of like questioning or whatever. So Itsumi is like, okay, we're gonna call the night short. You know, wait for me downstairs. I'll walk you home. But Yuki was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave because his friend is here and I don't want to interrupt or whatever. She was just so sweet or whatever, so innocent. Like, But you know, so Itsumi signs to her, or you know, mouths to her like, you know, wait for me downstairs. I'll be down there shortly. I'll walk you home, whatever. So when she's leaving out of the apartment, Emma is like, oh, thank you so much for letting me spend the night. And Itsumi is like, but Emma's kind of like stuck on Yuki because Yuki doesn't respond. She can't hear you, girl. So all that kind of like make another female jealous. It ain't working with Yuki because Yuki cannot hear you. But anyway, Yuki does see that when she hands the key back to Itsumi, and she's just like, oh, they must be dating or whatever, because why would she be handing him back his key or whatever? And when she gets downstairs, it's like weighing on her brain. She ends up starting to walk home by herself because she's feeling like, I don't want to interrupt what him and Emma got going on, if that's what's going on between them or whatever. So Emma and Itsumi end up going back downstairs, and you know, they're looking for Yuki, and before she could even get another word out, Itsumi is like, okay, Emma, I'll talk to you later. And he runs off to go catch up with Yuki because he's like, where the hell she go or whatever. We go over to we catch up to episode 7, and this is where Itsumi leaves Japan. Are they in Japan? Yeah, he actually leaves Japan, and he actually is traveling again. And you know, before he had left, he had told Yuki, like, you know, when you get your passport or whatever, I'll, you know, when I go, you know, travel, I'll take you with me and stuff. And this kind of like gets Yuki to thinking like, oh, I gotta get a job, I gotta get my passport, because she has nothing, you know what I'm saying? She's like, I'm gonna get my passport so that we, you know, can travel together, whatever. And I love the fact that she was like, you know what, I'm gonna start looking for a job. I'm gonna get a job, because it's like, it's automatically like, excuse me, she did not want to depend on Itsumi to like, Itsumi to like, you know, pay for anything, pay her for her trips or anything like that. So she's doing that as well. She starts looking for a job. So, and that while he's away on this trip, it kind of like, has Yuki thinking a lot about their relationship, and again, just coming to terms with these feelings that she is starting to have for him. And this romance does move pretty quickly between them. They are really just starting to like have these big feelings for one another, and questioned by his cousin Kiyoya. Itsumi also has to like face that, you know, these feelings that he's having for Yuki is bigger than what he's trying to, you know, not trying to like, I want to say, not trying to like avoid or anything like that, because like I said, I think for him, he never really had an interest in having like a full-blown relationship with a woman. So I think these feelings that he started having for Yuki is kind of just like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And should I be taking this as serious as I should be taking it or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But his cousin kind of like calls him out on it. Like, you know, she's young, you know, she's in a way innocent. Like, if you're going to do this with her, like, don't be playing games with her and stuff like that, which I love that the cousin called him out. The cousin was like, don't do that. Like, she's, you know, she's a good person, she has a good heart, so if this is something that you plan on pursuing, then pursue it. Don't be messing around or whatever. I was like, listen, if your family can't call you out on some shit, what are they there for? Okay. So anyway, so he goes on his trip. They're like communicating back and forth. He's sending her pictures. He's asking her to send him videos, so he can, like, you know, show his, you know, his international friends. You know, he also goes to, like, it was very, like, well-rounded. You know, he also goes to these things where, you know, he's goes to these where he worked with kids and stuff like that. You know, he was asking Yuki to send him, like, videos of her signing so he can show the kids and stuff like that. Very interesting. But okay, so we move on to episode 7 and 8 and stuff, where he comes back, and this is where he kind of like really, it kind of like sinks in for him, like, you know, this is it, this is someone that I want to be with, and, you know, I need to make this known and stuff like that. We also get introduced to Shin, who is friends with him and Emma, and he actually, when he comes home, he asks Yuki to, you know, meet one of his friends, which is Shin. He introduces Yuki as his girlfriend. He tells Shin that Yuki is deaf, you know, things like that. And they kind of like get to know each other or whatever. And then Shin is kind of like reminiscing because he has to be the one to tell Emma that, you know. Okay, so anyway, sorry. But so during the meeting, not the meeting where Isumi ends up introducing Emma to Shin, which is one of his best friends from high school, whatever. And they kind of like stayed, you know, contact with each other. You know, Shin is reminiscing about their high school days and like how him, Emma, and Isumi, you know, came to be friends and things of that nature. And, you know, Shin ends up telling Isumi, you know, don't worry about it. I'll tell Emma about you having a girlfriend or whatever, you know. And Isumi knows, I didn't think he knew, but he knew that Emma had these feelings for him. And he was, like, the man just never paid any attention to her in that way at all. So crazy that she was still running around. Like, I mean, she would go on these lunch dates with Shin, like her and Shin would go on these lunch dates or whatever, and Shin is like this hairstylist or whatever, he'd do her hair, whatever. But, you know, she kind of like whined to Shin about how Isumi doesn't pay her any attention, basically, like I said, the way she wants him to and things like that, and she just doesn't understand. But we come to see that Shin has always been in love with Emma, but he doesn't really act on those feelings or anything like that because they are friends, and I guess to show any type of respect towards Isumi or Emma or whatever, you know, he just never acted out on those feelings or whatever, which kind of like caused him a little bit not to have any romantic relationships himself, because all his girlfriends, especially the one in high school, because we have this memory where the girlfriend in high school was like, you're in love with fucking Emma, and I ain't gonna be sitting up here waiting around on you while you sitting up here pining over this heifer while she pining over Isumi and all this other stuff. So, you know, it was crazy. But, you know, he ends up telling Isumi that he is going to be the one to tell Emma about this relationship that he is now in or whatever. And, you know, Isumi is like, okay, whatever. They end up going on this this date or whatever, and another date, like kind of like their official date, Isumi and Yuki, and it's kind of like a day trip, another day trip with her, Isumi, Ren, and the cousin. The cousin's name is crazy to pronounce, so I think I'm just gonna say the cousin in here. So they end up going on this date where Isumi comes up with this plan. They're gonna do like a sign camp or whatever, where Yuki is going to teach all of them, you know, how to sign or whatever, so that they can learn how to communicate with her and stuff like that. Now the way Ren was talking to her in the beginning, from like the beginning till we got to this episode, Ren was texting her, and also Ren was reading her lips and stuff like that. So You know, it was always that going on. So they go on this kind of like day trip, and they're like having fun and things like that. And then we come to the scene where Ren and the cousin finally, for the love of the Lord, because Ren was always giving Yuki advice on how to approach Itsuomi, but you wasn't doing that with the cousin, Ren. I was like, girl, what's really good? Why you giving Yuki all this damn advice on how to move with Itsuomi, but you ain't even doing what you supposed to do to get the man that you want, girl, huh? But anyway, they end up talking because they go off walking. Ren and the cousin go off walking or whatever. And this nut, Ren was fun. I loved Ren. I loved her relationship with Yuki and how she took care of Yuki, and also always made sure, especially around the college campus, that Yuki was okay. But this nut ended up spraining her ankle while they were like in a river or whatever. But anyway, we didn't get this. We got like a flashback of the scene where they ended up telling each other that they liked each other. And now they were also boyfriend and girlfriend. So Ren finally got her man, because she was pining for him from episode 1. Then child, we move on to episode 2. Okay, this is one dude. There's 2 people that irritated me in this anime. Emma and Oshi. Oshi got on my nerves. Now Oshi is Yuki's childhood friend, okay? And Jesus, I'm trying not to get irritated, because he irritated me a whole lot during the whole 12 episodes. So he's Yuki's childhood friend, and Oshi irritated me because he is in love with Yuki, but he is a coward. Not Yuki, but Oshi is a coward, because he has this thing with Yuki. The difference between him and Itsuomi was that Itsuomi understood that Yuki was deaf, but he didn't treat her like a goddamn invalid, okay? Oshi treated Yuki like she was like this fragile eggshell, and she can't be touched. Like, even when she was, you know, on campus or whatever, he's like Ren would sometimes forget to speak directly to Yuki in her face or whatever, and he's just like, oh, make sure when you're talking to her, talk to her to where she can see you, and don't grab her from the back, and don't do this. It's like everybody's learning how to navigate Yuki's world, just as Yuki is trying to navigate the hearing world, but nobody is treating her like no goddamn walking eggshell, okay? Like she's just gonna crack as soon as somebody does something wrong or whatever. And I think that's why Yuki fell for Itsuomi the way she did, because Itsuomi didn't treat her like this fragile piece of glass that she was just like, if you touch it the wrong way, she was just gonna break. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she did that. And then he was a coward, like I said, because if you have these feelings for this girl, tell this girl. One thing that irritates me in these animes when they don't do it, they just sit there and pine, and then they stew, and then they get upset when the other person moves on. And he's mad at Itsuomi because Itsuomi is moving the way he should have been moving. Once Itsuomi realized that what he's feeling for Yuki is something outside, you know, like maybe grown up relationship feelings, then he starts moving accordingly. But Oshi, he's having a fucking attitude with everybody, running around stomping it. Because it was an episode earlier in one of the you know, in one of the earlier episodes where Yuki runs into Oshi at the train station, whatever, when she was on her way to meet Itsuomi or whatever. And he's like, where are you going? Like, first of all, who are you talking to? Who is you talking to? He has the real bad habit of talking to her like, where are you going? What are you doing? Who are you talking to? Like, she ain't your girl. She ain't your girl. So stop talking to her like that. She, like, boy. But anyway, he got on my nerves so bad. So, you know, he ends up following her through the train station, whatever, because she's just like, you know, yeah, bye, whatever. You know, she's like, I'm going to lie. She lied to him. I don't know why she lied to him and said she was going to the library, but she was actually meeting Isomi. But he follows behind her when she runs off to meet him, and he's like giving Isomi the death stare, like how dare you, how dare you be on this, you know, whatever you're doing with her or whatever. And Isomi is just looking at him like, dude, whatever. So anyway, somebody had bumped into her and she almost fell, but Isomi ended up catching her. And he's just like, oh, he's telling Isomi, oh, don't grab her from behind. First of all, mind your business. Isomi is just like staring at him or whatever. Like, whatever, dude. Like, looking down at him like, yeah, you're a funny little dude. Whatever, I'm gonna do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? And he told Oshi, like, Yuki told me as long as me that grabs her from the back, it's fine. Boy, when I tell you, that boy was stinky on my nerves, because I was just like, you're a coward. Like, you were never man enough to tell this girl that you, like, once y'all got older, like, y'all not kids anymore, whatever. I understand you, like, you growing up. He learned how to sign and stuff to be friends with her and stuff, to, you know, so he can help her navigate the hearing world when they were kids and stuff like that. Sidebar, why didn't her family learn sign language? That was strange to me. Her family did not learn sign language. She did not read their lips, because Isomi had asked her, like, how does your family communicate with you? And she was like, oh, you know, through body language and stuff. I guess she just got to the point where she just understood, like, what they were saying and what they were trying to say to her and stuff like that. And I was just like, but they never learned sign language? Like, that's crazy. Her own family did not sign with her. That was crazy to me. But anyway, so Oshi is like kind of like having a living fit, because he just doesn't understand, like, what is going on. Like, he understands what's going on between Yuki and Isomi, but he doesn't like it. But I'm like, you're a coward, because you did not step up and tell Yuki how you felt about her. And then the other thing that was crazy is Yuki never expressed any feelings outside of a friendship feelings towards Oshi. So for him to be walking around this goddamn anime the way he was walking around this anime, like, how dare you steal Yuki from me, you know, with Isomi. It's like the girl doesn't even have those type of feelings towards you. She always just saw you as a friend, probably like a brother. So he had this big problem with Isomi. So in episode 10, him and Isomi is just like, they all go to the same school or whatever, the same college or whatever. And Isomi is just like, dude, we're going to have this conversation. He basically like drags him around campus. Like, we're going to have this conversation. Like, you and I are going to talk, okay? Because you're going to have to understand that Yuki is my girlfriend. You know, Oshi is mad or whatever, and he ends up telling Isomi, like, oh, if you break her heart, I'm coming in. I'm going to come, rather she's with you or not. I'm going to take her from you. And Isomi is like, that ain't gonna happen, son. It ain't gonna happen, because I'm in there long term. So again, you just gonna have to deal, because me and my girl, we together. We this close, we this tight. Okay, so it is what it is. So I was like, yes, it's so me. But Oshi was annoying. He's a very annoying character, and I ain't like him. Not even by the end of episode 12. I was just like, boy, bye. But anyway, so Yuki ends up getting a job. She gets a job through one of her deaf friends' family. The aunt owns a restaurant, and Yuki ends up working there. And this is how she starts saving money, so she could start, you know, planning on going on these trips with Isomi or whatever. And she actually is able to get her passport. By the time we get to episode 12, she gets her passport and she shows Isomi or whatever. There was another episode, I don't know what, between 10, 11, and 12, I don't know where it was, but actually Yuki ended up staying the night at Isomi's house one night, and Isomi was just like very much like, I'm not gonna move the way I want to move with this girl. I'm going to take it really, really slow with her. And it actually, Yuki ended up asking him like, hey, if we're boyfriend and girlfriend, aren't you supposed to be sleeping in the bed with me? And Itsume ended up telling her like, yeah, that's generally is what is done between boyfriend and girlfriend. Sorry for the interruption. But, you know, Itsume ended up telling her that, yeah, you know, that is generally something that happens between boyfriend and girlfriend. But I want to take my time with you. I just want you to know that this is serious, that I'm not in here trying to like play no games with you or anything like that. And yeah, so we're gonna move slowly. But he does give her sweet kisses, and I like that. He always, the first kiss, she was just so red in the face or whatever. I was just like, oh, I love stuff like that. It's so cute. But you know, he ends up giving her like, you know, sweet kisses or whatever, and it was a good night for them. He ended up sleeping on the floor next to the bed. I was like, but anyway, Shin is finally able to have a conversation with Emma. When he first told Itsume that he was going to tell Emma about, you know, him having a girlfriend and stuff, he was not able to do it because he meets up with her again. And once again, Emma is whining over Itsume, and Shin is just like, shit, the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much that's what he was. But he finally ends up telling her, like, hey, Itsume. He meets her for one night, you know, she brings coffee or whatever, and he ends up telling her like, hey, your boy is, he got a girlfriend, girl, and you're gonna have to let this go. You're gonna have to let this go, okay? He also ends up telling Emma that, you know, he has always had feelings for her, always kind of like, you know, been in love with her and stuff like that. And Emma ends up telling him like, oh, okay, you know, she's kind of like upset that her boy has a girlfriend, but she does tell Shin like, I remember in high school you told your high school girlfriend that you would never have any feelings for me or whatever. But it was like an embarrassing moment for Shin, so he just said that out loud because it's like, shit, the fuck or whatever. You know what I mean? So, but he ends up telling Emma like, yeah, that wasn't true. I was in love with you then, I'm in love with you now, and yeah, do with that what you will, girl. Do with that what you will. So we get to episode 12, and this is kind of like the official date, even though, like I said, this relationship is moving. It's fast-paced as hell because these two are pretty much in love with each other. But Yuki ends up telling Ren that, you know, her Itsume have not been on like an actual date, and like a date by themselves, because like I said, they were always like either at the bar or you know, with Ren and the cousin, you know, doing day trip stuff. So she ends up doing a little bit of research, and she ends up taking Itsume out on their like first date to like this flower garden or whatever. It was really cute, really fancy, really cute. I like that. I was like, oh, okay, Yuki, impressing your man or whatever. So, you know, they were walking around the park, you know, and again, they're just getting to know each other, moving slow and things like that, just or whatever. And they start learning more and more about each other. She tells him a little about her childhood, and, you know, he tells her some more stuff about his childhood and things like that. So, like I said, the relationship is moving pretty steady. And yeah, like they're kind of like officially a couple, and they're moving as a couple at this point in time. And Itsume is 100% sure of his feelings for Yuki and what he wants to do with, you know, and how he wants to move in this relationship with Yuki. Yuki is still kind of like exploring things. She understands that she's in a relationship with Itsume and she's his girlfriend, stuff like that. But, you know, she's still exploring this or whatever. Like I said, Ren and the cousin are together. Thank God, because Ren was wilding. I was like, Ren, tell this man how you feel, girl. Shin and Emma. Emma, after that night, Shin told her about It's So Me. Emma ended up asking him out on a date. So at the end of episode 12, we see them two on the date. Okay. Oshie, we see him. He's in the library. He's learning like advanced sign language, which was crazy. But anyway, he's learning like advanced sign language. I guess he's waiting for It's So Me to fuck up so he can move in. But I don't think that's gonna happen. And again, Yuki has never gave any notion, nothing that she feels for Oshie the way he feels for her. And then again, he has not told her anything, so the girl don't know. Anyway, so, you know, and Oshie also has a girl. I guess another girl that he, you know, grew up with or whatever. He ends up, they end up keeping her family's dog or whatever when the family goes on these trips or whatever. And she likes Oshie, and like throughout the season we see where she actually sees Yuki out with It's So Me at times, and she's just like, oh, but she likes Oshie, but she's not telling Oshie how she feels about him, because she knows that Oshie is in love with Yuki. But I think that's just gonna be a waste of time. I don't think Yuki is gonna have any type of feelings for Shin. I'm sorry, for Oshie, the way Oshie has any feelings for her. So I don't think that's gonna happen. So I just don't see it, because It's So Me is moving like how a boyfriend should be moving. So yeah. But yeah, we end off with episode 12 with those things happening. And anyway, so that's it for now. Like I said, I don't know if there's going to be any other episodes. Right now there isn't, so I don't know if this is the end of season 1 and we're just waiting for season 2. I don't know. I gotta research that. That's generally what I do, but I didn't at this point, so that's what I gotta look for. But it's a cute little romance anime. I love it, and I love that they took on this theme of, you know, actually having this relationship between, you know, a deaf person trying to like navigating her relationship, you know, with a hearing person, and just not that, but just navigating you know, within the hearing world. You know, she's in college, she's on campus around hearing people and stuff like that. But like I said in my first recap, you know, Yuki seems pretty well known around campus, so it's not like she's facing any type of harassment or anything for being a deaf person, you know, having a person with a disability. So yeah, I like the anime. And if this is this end of season 1, I hope we get season 2 very soon, because I like this relationship that is going on between Yuki and It's So Me. It's So Me makes it very easy to like. Yuki too, she's really sweet, really just a really sweet girl. So yeah, that is it for me, and until the next one, later days, bye.